My name is Brendon Pohner. I'm the Financial Literacy Coordinator here at STCC. This presentation today is going to be on the FSA ID, which I'll get into in a second. It's really just your username and password for a lot of things financial aid. It can be a big point of contention for some people. It can cause a lot of problems. So I wanted to put together a slideshow so that you can see what it is, how it works. It might seem overly simple to some people, but believe me, if you do things the way I'm laying them out, this is going to make stuff a lot easier for you going forward in the financial aid process. If you have any questions, there is a Q&A section down at the bottom. You can ask them and I'll do my best to get to them before we're done here. So again, the FSA ID, we're going to go over creation and management, which really means if you lose it, how to get it back. It's usually pretty simple, sometimes not so much. So we'll go into it in depth. If you guys have any questions about things that I didn't go over, problems I didn't go over, I'll try to get to them at the end. So just put them down in the Q&A at the bottom, that chat section, and I'll do my best to get to those at the end. Okay, so let's get started here. So the FSA ID, like I said, creation and management. So what is the FSA ID? Very simply, it's a username and password that gives you access to federal student aid's online systems and can serve as your legal signature. So it really is just that simple, like anything else, sort of like a Netflix account or your Amazon account or anything like that. You need a username, you need a password to log in. This is really no different, okay? I think this is on the next slide. Yep, so what you need it for. The big one is logging into and signing your FAFSA. So your FAFSA, if you don't know, is your application, your main application for financial aid pretty much anywhere you go, whether it's here at STCC, whether you transfer out to a 4-year or you decide to go somewhere else, you're going to need to fill out a FAFSA. And to fill out a FAFSA, you're going to need a username and password and FSA ID, not only to log in, but to act as your signature, all right? So that's the main thing for your FAFSA. Also, when you're doing your FAFSA, the easiest way to get all your income info is to download it using the IRS data retrieval tool, it's called. I won't get into it too much, but it basically fills out the whole complicated tax portion for you. And without an FSA ID, you can't do that. Completing student loan counseling and the master promissory note. If you decide to take student loans, not all of you will, some people do. So if you take student loans, you're going to need to do a couple extra steps called loan counseling and signing the master promissory note. So if you're going to take student loans, you need your FSA ID to do that. And if you take student loans afterwards, if you want to change your repayment plan, lower your payments, just switch it up, take a break from making payments. There's all sorts of repayment plans. You need an FSA ID to do that as well. So it's very useful for a lot of things. Mostly this is going to be for the FAFSA though. So who needs one? Anybody who plans to apply for financial aid. Also, parents of dependent students who are applying for financial aid. So if you are going to fill out a FAFSA, whether you're a younger man or woman and you're dependent on your parents, or you're a non-traditional student, 30s, 40s, going back to college, you're going to need one. Do fill out your FAFSA. So anybody who's applying for financial aid. And also, if you're a dependent student, meaning you're under 24, you're not married, no kids, there's a few more criteria, but those are the main ones. If you're a dependent student, your parent, one of your parents will need one as well. So if you live with just mom or dad, that parent will need to make one as well because they need to sign your FAFSA with you. Or if you live with both, you can pick one. Doesn't matter who it is. But when you're under 24, no kids, not married, basically you're a dependent student, you need a parent's signature on the FAFSA as well. So they need to make a username and password in order to sign it with you. All right. See if there's any questions so far. I don't think so. All right. So let me get this out of the way. All right. Next. So the websites to go to do this, you can go to either one of these. FSAID.ed.gov, that's the main website, or you can go to it through the FAFSA, which is FAFSA.ed.gov. So either one of those is fine. FSAID.ed.gov, that's the main site. So I'm going to use that one today when I demonstrate this. I have screenshots from it, so I'm going to use that. But just know, if you go to the FAFSA, you can also click on create a password or create an FSA ID and do it right there as well. So those are the two websites you do that. So now, choosing a username and password. This, again, it's probably going to sound overly simple, but it's very important. I've seen plenty of people not follow these rules, lose this information, not be able to remember it, not be able to get it back, and it makes getting financial aid a real challenge, and college is expensive. So if you're not going to get financial aid or you're having trouble, it's going to be hard to go to college. So listen to these, take notes. So number one, write it down, keep it safe. If you do nothing else, do that one. People say to me all the time, oh, I'll remember this, I'll remember this. You do this once a year, you won't remember it. Nobody remembers it. Everyone tells me they will, nobody does. So write it down, keep it safe, okay? That's number one. Put it in a folder, put it on a bookshelf, put it in a safe, in a drawer somewhere where you know where it is. Write it down, keep it safe. I can't stress that enough. If you forget this, if you lose it, it can be an absolute nightmare to get back. All right, so your username can be anything as long as isn't already taken. So you'll just type it in and it'll tell you whether or not it's taken or not. If it is, you just got to make a new one. It's as simple as that. Your password must have a capital letter, lowercase letter, number, and it must be at least 8 to 30 characters long. And it cannot contain your name, your date of birth, or your social security number. So that's pretty standard stuff. Most passwords have security measures similar to that. Most accounts do anyways. Just like I said, write it down, keep it safe, because unlike Amazon or Gmail or whatever, this one can be much harder to get back if you lose it. So write it down, keep it safe. I can't stress that enough. All right, let me just get this out of the way. Any questions so far? Doesn't look like it. If I'm missing anybody, Keith, please let me know. All right, get that out of the way. Okay, so on to the next slide. So this is a screenshot of where you'd actually go to make this, okay? So I made one, a very simple, easy one, would be for me to remember anyways. I have my username up here. I use my first name, my last initial, and the year I was born. Super simple. You can't see it here for some reason, but this did say that it was available, so I was able to use this. And then I made a password, stick financial aid 2020. Simple, easy. Either way, still, I would have written it down, kept it somewhere safe. This is a fake one. I didn't keep this. I deleted it after I finished it, so just so you guys know, and I'm not trying to scam anybody with this. So that's that slide there. So basic personal information is the next part after you make your username and password. Super simple stuff at this point. It's just, again, your name, date of birth, social security number. What I'd say to people here is just all you got to do. I know you're not going to probably get this stuff wrong. Double check it to make sure, okay? Because if you put in one number wrong somewhere, this isn't going to identify you as you, and you're not going to get financial aid. They won't match up your FAFSA to your file at the school. It'll look like it's from two different people. You're not going to get financial aid. So just make sure you double check this, make sure your name is spelled right, your date of birth is correct, and especially double check your social security number, because that's what the college is going to use to match up your FAFSA to your student file and get you financial aid. All right, so next, they're going to ask you for your phone, email, and your street address. So pretty simply, you have to put one or the other of these in here, either your email or your phone number. You have to be able to verify one, or they won't let you finish this. All right, some people don't want to do it. Choose one. Honestly, you want to do both. You want to put as much security on this as possible, because like I said, getting this back, if you don't do it right, is a nightmare. Okay, so I put in my email address, my stick email address. I put in my Google Voice phone number here. These are all my work numbers, so I don't care if people contact me at these. And the school's address here, so none of this is my personal information. So make sure you do both if possible. Check this box so it'll allow you to use your phone number. If you don't have an email address or you don't have your own phone number, use one. The other thing on this is only use your own information. If you don't have your own email address and your brother has one or something like that, don't use theirs. Because if he decides to go to college, then this becomes a big mess. Or if you do make your own email address down the line, you forget you use your brother's, this becomes a big mess. One of the biggest things I see cause problems in this process is when people use somebody else's information, like their brother, their sister, their mom, their dad's information. Don't cross up information, use your own. If you don't have an email or phone number, then at that point you have to use somebody else's, but avoid that at all costs. Avoid that at all costs because it only causes problems. It causes mix-up, confusion, whatever. So that's that. Do both if you can. Use your own information. At the bottom here, mailing address, that's not a big deal at all. You can even skip that if you want, okay? So I already went over all this. Use your own info only. Verify both your email and your phone if possible. Once you do that, I actually didn't go over this, but once you email your phone number, or once you verify your email and your phone number, these can be used as your username to log in. People forget their username all the time, but they remember what their email is. They remember what their phone number is. So that makes it super easy to log in. It also makes it super easy to get this back and your password back if you forget. So if you verify both your email and your phone number, not only can you use that to log in, you can use it to get your password back if you forget it. So it's really beneficial to verify both of those. So whatever that can be used to unlock your account if you forget your login. And I think I've went over this. Without them, it can be extremely difficult to retrieve your information. So if you don't have an email or a phone number set up to retrieve your password, I'll get to it. You have to call a phone number and talk to folks. It can take weeks to get this back. You might not even get it back. It's nasty. Okay, so that down. Next would be, they're gonna ask you challenge questions, which most places do this now. Security questions, they ask you 4 questions. It looks like this, 4 questions that you have to answer to get your, you have to answer now, and you'll have to answer in order to get your username or your password back. Now, these don't work well for many people, so that's why I really lean on the email and the phone number. They can work. They're usually not very reliable, and they cause people a lot of problems. So wouldn't rely on them. Make sure you get your phone number and your email verified, but we'll go over these anyways because you have to do them. So the screen's going to look like this. You have 4 questions to answer. You pick your question from a drop-down menu, which I'll show you in a second, and you type your answer in the box, all right? You can click these boxes to show what you're typing. I highly recommend that, or else you can't see what you're typing. You don't know if it's right. So next, here's the drop-down menu. Now, again, I recommend pick the simplest ones. Pick ones that'll never change, that they're easy to remember. I'll try and pick a bad one to show you why I don't like them. Oh, who was your favorite singer band in high school? I don't remember. I doubt most people don't unless you're in high school right now. It changes for most people every week, every month, every year. That's a terrible one. You'll never remember that. So this ones I usually recommend would be like, what city are you born in? Easy to remember, never changes, very simple, okay? Some other decent ones, what color was your first car? There's not a lot of great ones on here for some people. Some people they're easier than others. Just try and pick the ones that are simplest for you, the ones that are easy to remember. And again, I think I got it here, write them down and keep them safe, okay? Again, write all this down, write down your username, your password, what email you use, what phone number you use, your security questions, put it in a folder, keep it safe somewhere, because again, I'll say it over and over and over again. If you forget this and you don't have it set up properly, it can be a nightmare to get back. So just like I said, make them as simple as possible. Choose an answer that's easy to remember and never changes. Write them down, keep them safe. So I filled these out for me. These questions work for me. They may not work for everybody, but I picked these because they're simple for me, easy for me. Okay, so what city I was born in? Springfield. What's my mother's maiden name? I just put Jones. Father's middle name, David. Color of my first car was blue. 1-word answers, that's another good thing. Keep it 1 word. Like if you were, what city were you born in? I wouldn't put Springfield, Massachusetts, or Holyoke, Massachusetts, or wherever, because now you got to remember 2 words instead of 1. 1 word, keep it simple, write it down. That's really about it for these. Okay, then they're going to ask you to review your personal info. Okay, super simple, but do it. I know most people would want to skip this. Just do it. Make sure everything's accurate, because if it's not, it's going to cause you problems. So my username, that's what I put. Great. I have my password covered up here, but that's all right. My first name, my date of birth, my social, we check those. They're all correct. Good. Let's move on. Then they're going to ask you to read your terms and conditions. Read these if you want, don't if you want. That doesn't matter so much, but read them over, certify, hit continue, okay? Very simple. Okay, so you've created it at this point, but like I said, you have to verify your phone number and your email address, and this is very, very important. And they actually, like I said, won't let you finish this, won't let you complete it if you don't do this. All right, so let's move on. So you're just going to hit next from this screen. You'll hit continue. It's going to bring you right here. Enter the secure code. So as you can see right here, it's sent it to your phone number. The little picture of the cell phone here, it's going to send it to your phone. A code, a 6-digit code, I'm sorry. It sends a 6-digit code to your phone. You put it in here. You hit the verify button, and you're all set. It's going to go onto your email. Same thing. It's going to send you an email with a 6-digit code in it. You take the code out of the email, put it in the box, hit verify, you're good to go. You're all set. You've made this. So that's it. Making it's kind of the easy part. Keeping it safe is where people have the trouble. So like I said, you guys really just need to write this all down, keep it safe. You follow these directions, do what I've said here. It's super simple. It's super easy. But if you don't, if you lose this, they're going to make your life very difficult. And it's possible you're going to have trouble getting financial aid in time for college if this happens to you. So I can't stress it enough. I know I'm beating a dead horse with this. I'm saying it over and over again like a broken record. Write it down, keep it safe. If you don't and you lose it, they're going to make your life difficult. Okay. So if you do forget it, the steps you should take to get this back, to make it work again. That's the created page. This is what you're going to see when you're done. Okay. Once you've done everything, it's going to show you this page, FSA ID created, you're done. So super simple. So again, retrieving it. That's just what I was getting at before. If you forget it, if you lose it, you don't know what it is. If you set it up properly, this can be very simple to get back. If you didn't, again, it's going to be tough. So retrieving your FSA ID. Usually, like I said, your email or your phone number can be used as your username. So I always start there. If I'm helping somebody try and get this back, try and figure out a lost username and password, start with just using your phone number or your email. That way it cuts a step out. It makes it simple. Put in your email address you think you used, put in your phone number you think you used, and start there, okay? So you try to reset your password using your email or your phone number first. That's what I do. Challenge questions lock you out for 30 minutes. So I wouldn't use those to start because you're gonna have to wait 30 minutes. We have appointments we make to help people out with this and the FAFSA. And if you get locked out using those security questions, the appointments are only half an hour. You got to reschedule, and sometimes it can be weeks until you get another one. So this is why I say do it this way. Guess your username because you can usually guess it's your email or your phone number. Try to reset your password first. And then if none of those work, then you use the security questions. But I'll get more into it. This is the process I use to get it back with people every day. It works really well. So just take some notes if this happens to you. Hopefully it doesn't, but if it does, it can be pretty simple as long as you set this up properly. So manage my FSA ID, you'd go back to fsaid.ed.gov. And you're gonna, instead of being at the spot that says create an FSA ID, you click on the manage my FSA ID tab and it brings you here. All right. You can try and log in with it, which lets you, change your personal information and such. We don't need to do that today. I would start by clicking on forgot my password. Okay. That'll take you here. Okay. Reset your password. They're going to ask you for your username, your email, or your phone number. So that's what I'm getting at when I say you'll remember your email, you'll remember your phone number. So put whatever one it is in here. So I have my email in here, put my email address in here, my date of birth. I hit continue, and it takes me here. It shows me all the options I have to get this back. So like I said, you want to try and avoid using the security questions, the challenge questions, I mean. You can choose to get a code sent to your email address or your phone number. It's really whatever's easiest for you. At that point, that doesn't matter. So let's just say, I think I did it with my email. So click my email, click continue. Yep, next. So they're going to send you a code. Just like when you verified this, you put the code into the box here, hit submit, and it lets you create a new password. Okay, so I just updated the password to, instead of Stick Financial Aid 2020, I made it 2021. Just kept it almost the same thing. You can't use the same password twice. So if I tried to put in the old one, it's going to kick it back. So that's actually a trick you can use. If you put in the old one by accident, you think it might have been, you try to put in this password you use all the time, and it says that was your old password at some point, you can actually cancel out of this and try and log in with that. Sometimes it'll work. If you use that password a few times ago, you're out of luck. But anyways, it gives you a chance to make a new password, keep it simple, again, write it down, and you can use it immediately this way. So you can also reset it with your phone number, texting a code to my phone, same deal, put the code in here, reset my password. It's exactly the same thing. I just wanted to put those slides up there to show you it that way and what it looks like. So email address, phone number, super easy, super quick. You can use the password right away to log back in. So they are the best way to do it. Now, say you can't remember your email, you can't remember your phone number, for whatever reason you didn't put them in. You're gonna have to reset the password with your challenge questions. And like I said, not ideal, locks you out for 30 minutes, and they're a lot harder to guess for the most part. If you don't know them, you don't remember them, you gotta guess them, it's a lot harder. So you go back here, manage my FSA ID, again, click forgot my password, answer my challenge questions. Okay, this is all, again, only after these two have failed. Answer my challenge questions, hit continue, you get a screen that looks like this. You have to answer 2 questions to get to reset your password. They will cycle out, so if you get them wrong, you can get another chance with different questions. So if there's one question you don't know, like if I didn't remember the color of my first car, I can keep getting that one wrong until hopefully they cycle into 2 questions that aren't that I know, okay? However, you get them wrong 5 times, they lock you out, you gotta wait a half hour to even try this again. Okay, so hopefully you made these simple. Hopefully you know what they are. Hopefully they're easy. What city was I born in? Springfield. Color of my first car, blue. Submit, boom, make a new password. But, oh, it said it earlier. Again, like I said, this locks you out for half an hour, which is an inconvenience, so you'd rather not do it this way. Just remember, it is an option, but you do it this way, you're not gonna be able to use this password right away. It's gonna take you half an hour before. Okay. If you're making an appointment with us to do this, to do the FAFSA, apply for financial aid, you don't want this to happen because then you have to reschedule. So that's the challenge questions, that's resetting this. Now, retrieving your username. Let's say you can't remember your email or your phone number. You can't get your, One thing you can do is go back and try and figure out your username. That's usually what I try and do. If you don't want to get locked out by using the security questions, this is a way to get around it. You can, if you can't remember your email or phone number, go back and try to retrieve your username, because your username is as good as your email or your phone number to find out what options you have to retrieve this. So this will let you see your options for resetting your password. Okay, so you'll see what I mean in a second. So again, back here, we're hitting we'll hit forgot my username this time. So we have the options, email a secure code, text a code to my phone. We don't know what email or phone number we use, so we're going to use the challenge questions for this. Continue. Oh, wait a second, what am I doing here? Anyways, yeah, you can retrieve it. I'll go over this. I don't know why I put this here, but we'll go over it anyways. Retrieve your username. You can do it with your email. You can do it with your phone number. Most likely, you're going to be doing this with your your challenge questions. So if you're doing it with your challenge questions, you have to put in your social security number, your last name, your date of birth. Should be pretty easy. Click continue. Boom, you're back here again. Okay? Answer those. Hopefully, you can answer them. Hopefully, you made them simple, like I said. Answer them. Hit submit. Boom. There's your username. It'll tell you it right here where I have it highlighted. Write it down, copy, paste it, whatever you got to do. Because next, you're going to go back here to reset your password. Put the username in, put your date of birth in. And boom. You see the options that you have. It may just be security, your challenge questions. I keep calling them that, I'm sorry. It may just be your challenge questions. But if you don't remember your username or your phone number that you used, you put that username in and it'll tell you right here. So you can then try and unlock your password, hopefully with your email or your phone number. All right. Okay, so that's pretty much wraps it up. So if you need more help, you can call or email Student Financial Services at the number here, 413-755-4214. Also, you can email me. This is mostly something that I take care of myself. So if you need more help, you can email us. You can email me at this email address right here. You can email us at our general email here. Also, the VOC, they also help with this. Valley Opportunity Council has a program that helps out with this stuff. So if we're booked, you can't get a hold of us for some reason, you can call these guys at this number here, and they're very, very good at helping this up, helping out with this stuff. I actually used to work for them until I got my job here. So they're very, very good. You can also, this is what I was talking about before, if all else fails, so you come to me, this happens sometimes, and it's just, you did this wrong, it's a mess, we can't figure it out. This is the helpline you have to call right here, 1-800-433-3243. This is the FSA ID's helpline. You really don't want to have to call them. So do what I've laid out here, write the stuff down, keep it safe, keep it simple, do everything I said. You won't need to call them. If you need to call them, good luck. They're not fun to deal with. What they'll usually have you do is send in a copy of your driver's license, your ID. Takes about a week, and then they send back some sort of code to unlock it. It's really not easy to do. I've had to do it a couple times, even for me, somebody who does this for a living. It's been confusing. So you don't want to get there, but if you do get there, this is the number you have to call. Okay. Let's see if we have any questions. Keith, can you help me out and see if we have any questions? I'm not actually having much luck with looking at the chat feature here.
Chat is off, but there's nothing in Q&A.
Okay, so I guess everybody gets it. Hopefully you're taking something from this. Hopefully it makes your life easier going forward. Believe me, this might sound overly simple. Oh, we're just making a username and password. I do this for everything. Trust me. Listen, I've been working with this thing for 5 years now. It's been nothing but problems since they started using this thing. So write it down, keep it safe. That way you make sure you get financial aid quickly, easily every year. If you need more help, call us at these numbers, email us at these emails. Call the VOC, they're super helpful. And if you have to, call the helpline, but save that as a last resort, okay? Any questions, please feel free to email me. I'd be happy to help you.